Ladies and gentlemen, that's right, it's that time again. You're watching ECLECTICKA. I'm Michael 7. Michael, we've got CC the Greek Geek, we have Sensei Vegan, and we've also got Ranger. Hey guys.
Hey.
What's up? What's happening?
So, Wonder Woman's happening. Let's just jump into it. Mm-hmm. We've all seen Wonder Woman. And Ranger, I think you saw it first. So what do you think?
Did I? I think Sensei Vegan.
But I'm gonna let you go first.
Oh, okay.
Ladies first.
So nice.
We'll pretend you went to the woman-only screen.
Yeah.
That caused a ruckus, didn't it?
It did.
But the movie was incredible. I really liked it. I got misty-eyed in certain parts.
Oh, Misty.
Misty-eyed.
Ass sweating a little bit.
I was sitting in the theater with my quesadilla because I had a quesadilla.
They have quesadillas?
No, they don't. I just felt.
Oh!
I was so hungry, but it was just so powerful. I loved it.
Look at Charles' face. He's like, what's going
No,
on?
nothing wrong with that. What, you put it in the inside pocket? That's how you do it.
That's what the purses are for, man.
Or you get you a
for your
jean.
wallet.
Get you a jean jacket. Because the jean jacket got those two inside pockets. Slap a whole pizza in that thing.
So was there anything in particular about the movie that you like really loved? Was there a scene that stuck out to you? Was it the cinematography? Like, what was it?
Okay. It was The Island, without a doubt.
Okay.
Because it was gorgeous.
Mm-hmm.
It was complete polar opposite to what like the Earth is.
Mm.
And like at the time there was a war going on. So between the islands of the war, it was just what you would envision like a perfect peaceful world to be.
Mm-hmm.
And I really enjoyed it.
Oh, like a utopia.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Exactly. Utopia.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else?
Oh, yeah.
Anything in particular you were like had an issue with? Or?
Let's see.
Yeah.
I honestly can't think. I'm still like in the moment of like in awe.
Oh, you haven't had time to like reflect and see it again.
Yeah.
That's
So,
that's the
not
biggest
at the
thing.
moment. I know the's probably something.
Yeah.
There's always something.
Yeah, I feel like generally, especially, as women, we're so caught up in the hype right now.
Mm-hmm.
And it is a good movie. So it's like it's hard to take away from that.
Right.
So, when it comes to stuff like that, you really have to see it over and over again to kind of break it down and compare it with the comic book version. And, it was
All right, Charles, make me proud. I want to hear that. Charles, go in.
Want me to go
You're going to
in?
make me proud. Come on.
Okay. Oh, all right. Number one. It's an icon character. I mean, 76 years? Came out in, issue number 8. Anyway. Okay, I'm going to start off with the good things first. Okay. Excellent movie. I think it was probably the best DC movie to date, honestly.
Wow.
Even better than a lot of the Batman movies, seriously.
Coming from you.
Yeah, it was well written, excuse me. They didn't try to stretch it into something that it wasn't. It was
I
like,
feel like it compares well to The Dark Knight, though.
yeah,
Dark Knight
well,
was a good movie.
my thing with The Dark Knight, I didn't like, was it Christian Bale? I was not a big fan of him. I like Heath Ledger with the Joker, but I was not a fan of, I'm just saying, being honest, I wasn't a big fan of, I just didn't like him as Batman too much. But, with that being said, parts of the movie were dark, meaning the color. So it got to a point where certain parts were so dark where you couldn't
see the
yeah,
visual.
that was probably one of my
detail.
biggest gripes. The mascara, is that right? I'm saying it, the island?
The mascara.
Mascara?
The mascara.
The mascara? Okay.
That is kind of how you say it, though, the mascara.
But how did they find it so easy?
Yes, because it's
I'm
like,
the God of War couldn't find it, but they can find it. They found it. Hey, what's this? Guy just sticks his hand. Hey. Then he sticks it like the cartoons, how they stick their head through the hole.
Right. And it's kind of hard to imagine them finding it so easily
They found it way
without
too
having
easy.
a mold.
Yeah.
I mean, like they should have had
like an
a
Amazon,
connect, like a trader or something, kind of like 300 or something.
I wish they found it
Or a
entirely
hunchback.
too easy. They found it too easy.
Yeah.
I was happy to see Ann Wolf in there. She was a boxer. She held the titles in 3 different weight classes. I think she played Demetrius. I think that was her character's name, if I'm not mistaken. Chris Pine was good. I didn't like the way he went out, but I mean that was pretty much we knew that was how that was going to happen.
It was
Seven, he brought up a great point as far as with God of Truth and God of War, how they kind of
Yeah, I didn't like how they explained it from the very beginning that it went all the way down to 2 gods being left. And then, again, no spoiler alert, but spoiler alert, all of a sudden they introduce someone else. I'll leave it at that. So that way people could, they'll pay attention to it and they don't,
Right.
But I just felt that, hey, if you're going to write that in the script, keep it with the script.
Yeah.
Don't change things around. There's no reason to do that.
Right. Well,
we trust you.
Right.
We'll ride that ship. Right. And then also they went some places they didn't have to go, especially because a lot of kids are going to see this movie. Because what was it? PG, right?
Yeah.
Was it PG?
I
was thinking of I know the scene you're talking about, and I was thinking of the rating while that scene was happening. On the boat, right? Yeah.
But I think a lot of the regulation has changed too, because even on cable TV,
they say just about everything.
Say and do get away with a lot more than they had we were coming up.
Yeah.
The scenes are way racier and more sexualized, and so maybe that's part of it.
If you look at the PG-13 movies now, they're like rated R movies when we were watching. It's like the ratings dropped down.
Right. The bar got a little
they
lower.
dropped, man.
I would like to talk about the outfit, but we've seen that so much. And all the trailers, it's kind of like pointless to talk about it now.
But I do like it.
It was like it covered enough where she looked like a warrior.
Right.
And not like just like
right. And that's what, we talked about in previous episodes. I love that they honed in on that warrior princess.
Yes.
Because she is the original warrior princess in terms of like fictional characters.
Right. And they did keep the colors. They kept the red.
Yeah,
right.
But they're really tall.
And it wasn't like cheesy and cartoony.
There were stars and stripes. It was just,
right. That would have been too much. Not with the stars.
No. I hope. Yeah, because he wasn't like fighting in a 2-piece bikini and 5-inch heels.
Yeah.
But I'm glad. I hope people paid attention to that. When you make these costumes and you put them in movies, flatten out the colors. You notice how they're flattened down and they look better than having all them. You can't have them too bright.
Right.
It looks cartoony. They flatten it out. You flatten the colors out.
Yeah, you can't have.
So remember that. Flatten the colors.
Right. And they did mention something that I thought that was really important too. They said when she was trying to try on different clothes during the film in one of the scenes, which was really funny, getting modernized or whatever. But it was interesting how she. I can't fight in this. Which justifies.
Right.
Well, why did she have to have this short skirt? Because she needs to move.
Mobility,
she needs to move.
And of that time, people wore a lot less clothes. So she looked like a warrior of the time, the Amazons.
And considering where she's from, too, like you said. Because, some of a lot of the women were wearing next to nothing. But it's like, it's hot.
Yeah,
and,
it's hot and bright.
What are you going to do? Right.
Well, a lot of women wore a lot of dresses.
Like tribal? Oh, yeah, that's
it. And a lot of fur, too.
But they were warriors. So they dressed like the men. The men pretty much had underwear on.
Right.
Or some armor, and that's it.
Right.
It's true.
So these women were the ultimate warriors of the time.
Right.
So it justifies. So all the feminists or whoever that had an issue, now you can't say nothing because it does make sense.
It does make sense.
But even then, it's like you still want it to be the outfit to be true to form too. So why would you get mad about that?
Yeah, you can't.
Like she's showing less skin than she was in the original costume. So it's like you can't take it but so far. Otherwise, people aren't going to recognize her.
Well, what it would look like if she'd show up in a movie with blue jeans and a t-shirt on.
Exactly.
Some Nova jeans and a t-shirt.
Right. Some 7 jeans.
Yeah, right. Wouldn't look right.
Plug.
But now, the overall choreography, the fight choreography was really good. I mean, some of the stuff was amazing. I don't want to spoil it, but they had some inconsistencies. Here's one of them. When she went to get the weapon out of the tower, she ran and she jumped across, landed, and climbed her way up.
Right.
Then when she was fighting in the war in the bell tower, they put the door there, and she had to take and run and jump off the door. Then, yeah, she didn't need that.
Maybe she have like enough room to
Oh, she had
run.
more than enough room to run.
Oh
Yeah, you'll see the part, but yeah, so that was a little bit inconsistent.
It was, to note to that, it was really good that she discovered her powers throughout the movie. Because she didn't realize she could
do a
lot of things that she was doing, which was cool. But it's still like, well, how did she figure this all out in 24 hours?
Right.
Like, so her whole life, nothing happened that she couldn't figure out she can jump, that she could figure out that she could, so that was a little...
But do you think it had anything to do with her being on Earth versus where
No,
Like maybe
no,
she's
they're on
so-
Earth.
They're on Earth. They're just it's
when
a
they
it's
were
a
on her whole power
That's
thing.
right. Okay.
just a secluded part.
They put a little magical bubble that no
Over
one
the
could
island.
find.
Yeah, it's
'Cause
cloaked.
My whole thing is, I was
cloaked.
wondering if like the gravity or anything had something to do with it.
No, it's like a cloaked
That
island.
would
Got
make
it.
sense.
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
it's not.
Yeah, I was trying to like rationalize it.
Yeah.
And then also remember, she's half human.
Right.
She's a
She's
demigod.
a demigod.
Right.
Yeah.
So, they keep trying to push in this flying thing,
Right.
which
No,
they've been
she's
pushing
just-
that the last several years.
Right.
And I'm tired
But that
of it.
kind of makes the jet obsolete. Like, why
Well,
would
she's
you have
gonna-
the invisible
well,
jet?
she had
if
a-
she
She
could
can
already
fly.
They had her
fly?
flying toward the end. I think
No,
that
those were
She was
jumping.
just jumping.
Yeah,
Yeah, she
Well,
always
she
makes those
remember when
giant
she fought him.
She came down.
Energy kind of So
She was like she's floating down.
But was it because of the energy?
The way she was
all
like
the energy
descending
she's
down
Well, she
the
has
power.
to.
into
The
battle.
power, yeah.
She has to fly in Justice League though. She's gonna have to fly. She flies in the cartoons. They're not gonna have the jet.
Or she
the
flies
newer
in the jet.
cartoons. But that's the thing. Are they gonna?
I don't think they're gonna go with the jet.
This movie was interesting because they kind of rid that line between we're gonna have her because of the power and the energy. She's high up, or she could kind of float down, but not quite fly. But if we decide to, we can make her fly.
Yeah,
They
they're gonna
kind of
go.
left it.
They're gonna go with flight, I
Ambiguous,
believe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They'll go with
When,
flight.
when she does jump, it looks like she's floating for a little while.
Right.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like soaring.
Yeah.
More or less.
I hope she doesn't fly. DC, please don't make her
I
fly.
hope she just.
Everybody
jumps.
don't have to fly.
Because she's half human. Stop trying to make her the female version of Superman.
Yeah. No.
We got Supergirl for
That's
that.
played out.
She's already more like Thor, I think.
I predict she's gonna fly. They're gonna do it.
Yeah,
they're gonna make her
They need
fly.
to find a way to make this invisible jet work. I don't care. They have to do it.
They stopped the Invisible Jet with Linda Carter,
I know.
and they should have had Linda Carter in the movie too. They should have
Like
gave her a part in the
cameo
movie.
or like a mom
Should have
role.
put her in the movie.
She should have been the mom.
She should have been.
Should have
the
made a
mom.
great mom. Yeah.
Oh, the aunt that's forcing
yeah.
her to fight.
The fight.
That would have been
That would've
awesome.
been nice. Yeah.
Yeah. That
You know,
would've been dope.
I think I had more gripes with how the public kind of perceived the movie and how like the media was. First of all, let me make sure I get her name right. I don't want to get the name right. Okay, Patty Jenkins, the director,
Yeah.
right? Instead of giving her kudos, it's always like, well, she had one of the highest budgets for a female-directed movie. She's a director.
And
I
it's
don't-
for a superhero movie.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Like, of course, like every other, chick flick, and it's like, that's the stereotype. It's some low budget movie.
That's what drives me
you
crazy.
know,
It's like,
right.
well, drop the woman. She's a director.
Right.
That's the way I look. I don't care. She's a director and she directed a phenomenal film. But they always do that.
Right.
Oh, is that then they were saying, well, it was the highest grossing female comic book character.
Right.
I'm like,
Of course.
but what I'm saying is,
Right.
I don't look at that. I'm looking at it like
how many?
Like, it's a good movie.
that's what I look at it as.
Right.
Well,
Right.
was it the acting good? It doesn't
Yeah.
matter about like
Some-
gender.
It does, but that's how they
Yeah.
put it though. And I'm like, I don't give her. I'm going to see it. She's a superhero.
Yeah.
I'm going to see it. You understand?
Somebody made a tweet and it was like, why is everybody like judging Wonder Woman like the balance of feminism rests
I'm
in the
telling-
movie? And it was like
Crumble.
Batman versus Superman, and it was like naming all these like trash movies, and it was just like, they still, I mean, not trash, but it's like subpar in a lot of
Right.
critics' eyes. And it's like, you still gave them guys a chance, but Wonder Woman's got one shot. You better shoot it.
The thing that they didn't realize with this movie, like I said, Wonder Woman, the character is 76 years old.
Right.
It's an icon of a character.
Right.
That thing
76 years
that's
in the
what,
making,
70s.
though.
That's what I'm saying. That thing come out, you do it right, it's going to be a hit.
Yeah.
And they did it right. So,
Right.
Patty Jenkins,
Indeed.
heck yeah.
And it's like the special effects alone. Of course, it's gonna
Yeah, it
be
was good,
high,
man. That
high
was freaking
budget.
Now, wait a minute.
This was an award then.
Wait a minute.
Uh-oh.
The Native American that they threw in there was very random. Very random. His little speech was good. The whole who
Like
hurts your people? Well,
His people.
Yeah.
so that was pretty good. But the Arabian guy
Oh, yeah. I know
with
what
the
you're
whole
talking
I really wanted to be an actor. So what are you doing here? I really want to be an actor, but I was the wrong color. So I'm going to be a mercenary?
Right,
Like, how'd you go from...
Yeah, that's kind of,
Right.
that's a little out there.
That was a little...
Yeah.
Dude.
It did seem like they were like fishing for diversity in some instances. From
Well,
what I've gathered.
yes, but also it did to Wonder Woman had to see that this world was corrupt.
Right.
So she had to see and experience every evil.
Right. And with her, she could only experience sexism because whoever wrote that article claiming she's a person of color, she's, by that definition, she isn't. So even in the movie, they made it very clear that she was a woman, so she was dealing with all these different things, but she was a white woman.
Right.
So it was like they didn't, when she came in and there was that like record scratch moment, anyone could have like yelled out any like racial epithet, but that wasn't the case. But like you said, I think that was and the fact that it was a man instead of a woman really isolated that struggle over the woman's struggle.
Yeah, they could have actually they could have spent a little bit more time with that, which would have been more interesting for her to like really vial the experience, like this world.
Especially at that point in time and dealing with the enemies that she was dealing with,
Right. And then, her jumping to, I did like they played on her innocence. It seemed a little too much and annoying at some point though.
But it's expected though.
It's expected.
It's expected. It's
Right.
expected. Yeah, she was sheltered. So
20-something years.
Super sheltered.
it was like kid, woman, kid fight, woman fight, woman, then just go out into the world,
Right.
So what do you guys think of her confidence in her abilities, even though she was still trying to figure out what her abilities were? You think it was a little too much? Because it seemed like she was super confident to the point, even with Superman, they kind of gently, I could do that. Okay, cool.
I feel like that was part of the culture of Themysciras in general.
I feel like for Wonder Woman,
they're very
it was more of like
proud.
she was trying to do what was right. And
Yeah,
as she was trying to do what she was right,
so she was confident in her sense of like justice and her moral compass.
See, this is the thing too. If you compare it to Superman and Wonder Woman, she was raised as a warrior. He wasn't.
Right.
Superman wasn't raised as a warrior.
He was an orphan.
Yeah.
So she had that grounding where she knew her, at least her mom.
Because even his dad was like a scientist. But his dad was like Superman's dad. Was he like a scientist or something?
Yeah, he was.
So he wasn't a fighter.
Right.
He wasn't a fighter. So it's
his actual real.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So she was raised.
His real dad.
She was raised to fight. So her confidence level would be much higher.
So technically, by skills, she should be able to beat up Superman.
Yeah.
Actually, as long as you add kryptonite to the mix, she would demolish Superman. She would demolish
But
Superman.
even somebody said that in Batman versus Superman. Like, Superman is not a trained fighter.
He's not.
You know what I mean? He's very used to being able to knock people out in one punch.
Right.
So, like, even when, Batman didn't have superpowers, but that, with his suit and his martial arts skills, made him a formidable opponent, at least, in that context.
Well, when you add kryptonite to the mix, Batman should just beat up Superman. Period.
That's true.
There shouldn't really have been a back and forth.
Right.
He should have just demolished him, and that was
bring
it.
the sun into it, though. The sun,
Well, he get recharges from the sun.
Recharge, right. So, actually, now you think about it, everybody should be able to beat up Superman. But that's
the thing. That's the part too, though, with the whole. I'm sorry, we're getting off track here, but with the kryptonite, that stuff's hard to find. And it seems like in these movies, man, they're always finding like you can just go down to the Dollar General store. Let me get 2 pounds of kryptonite. You know what I mean? Oh, come on.
Well,
man.
they did come up with a good excuse for it because when what's his name picked up and started to
Didn't they start manufacturing it
or something like that? So now it's
made, like,
everywhere.
A fake kryptonite, yeah.
Right.
Well, in Batman versus Superman, the animated, he made it. It took him years to make it, but he finally learned how to make it. Yeah.
Right. So they got to make it scarce. That was one of the problems. Again, we'll get back to Wonder Woman, but that was one of the problems with Luke Cage too.
Yeah.
Where they made it like, okay, here's a bullet to get Luke Cage. Anybody want it?
Right.
And they put it so street available that it's like, well, now it's not that special that you have it.
Yeah, that's nuts. They don't know why they do that stuff.
Yeah.
So that was kind of weird.
Super weird.
So they already set up, because they added another god in the script, they've already set up for a Wonder Woman 2, or like for her to go back to that place, where her original home. Even though that's the thing, we don't know if this bubble keeps the Amazons alive forever.
Right.
Did they stay the age that Zeus created this space for them, where they don't age? Or now that Wonder Woman's in the future, everyone from her home village or whatever, they should all be gone. Now they did put up another loophole in the script, which they could invest in, is the fact that they did talk about reproduction, and that's what men are kind of for, to reproduce.
Right.
So you can have other women there in the future.
Right.
You know.
But they're old though. Like if I was looking on the internet, Wonder Woman's supposed to be like 5,000 years old or something like that.
Yeah.
Right.
She's old.
Well, loophole, she's a god, so she could live long.
Right.
So with that, she technically would outlive all the superheroes.
Superman ages slower though.
Yeah.
Right, but he'll never out.
Yeah, she's not gonna outlive her, but he can get up there though.
Right. So that's interesting. So. Wait, isn't this all supposed to? Because I know in the Marvel world, it's supposed to go to this big galactic showdown, correct?
Yeah.
Right.
And doesn't DC have one too?
I believe so with Doom, if I'm not mistaken.
I'm not even sure about that one.
Wait, isn't Doom?
No, that's
Marvel.
Yeah. It's a similar name.
I gotta look that up. I'm not even sure.
So that would be
it's
interesting.
Like a similar name to like
You
Doomsday,
know,
Apocalypse and all that.
there's been rumors of different spin-off DC films. We talked about Siren, and all those other things. If they do Sirens, they got to put Wonder Woman in it.
They have to.
Is because she's on the scene,
Yeah.
and she would definitely want to monitor. Obviously, Batman would have. Ben Affleck is so hooked up right now because he's not only Batman, he's supposed to be writing and directing one of the future Batmen, which I don't know.
Well, I can give him credit. He made a good Batman. I'm not gonna care what anyone says. He made a good Batman, Bruce Wayne. Maybe he might just want to act and just leave the writing to someone else and co-sign on it.
I feel like he'd be good at directing it, writing it.
I don't know. Batman, they need a good freaking flick, man.
Yeah.
That last one just marred them up bad.
And that was Doomsday in Batman versus Superman.
Yeah, that was.
That was
that was.
But they defeated him too.
Because it's X-Men Apocalypse, that's the Marvel
Right.
one, and then Doomsday, and then Civil War. But yeah, they do defeat him, so it's kind of like, well, I think that's like the beginning of Justice League, but I don't know what the ultimate showdown is.
Yeah.
And a lot of people were upset with that too. They said that they got rid of Doomsday too early. Like,
Yeah,
they did. Doomsday was supposed to be like,
he
could've
shouldn't even
saved
been in
Wonder
Superman. He should have never even been in that movie.
Yeah.
Right.
Should never even been in
I
that
feel
movie.
like they were at the point where they needed something big.
Yeah, they needed a draw.
Yeah.
Right.
They did what they messed up in with Spider-Man 3, how they had Venom and the
It was too
Sandman,
much.
just too much
Yeah,
crap
yeah.
going
Because
on.
like they already got the Wonder Woman thing, so
Right.
it's like that kind of took over.
They also brought in who is the guy on the glider? The
Silver Surfer?
no, it was in Spider-Man.
Oh,
Which
Green
one?
Goblin.
Yeah,
Green
Green Goblin,
Goblin.
he was in that one, too.
Yeah, they had way
The
too
Sun,
many
yeah.
people.
Green
in that.
Goblin is actually one of my favorite villains.
I do like Green Goblin.
And they still have not done an excellent.
They haven't done a good job with him yet.
No.
Not yet.
No, because James Franco was.
They make him look like a Power Ranger.
Yeah.
That's so-
He's
Yeah.
just I don't know. Yeah, they
I
just
thought
I'll
his
leave it.
dad, the original Green Goblin, was.
He looked like the darn Green Goblin.
looked
All
like
they,
the Green-
He did. Look
all they
like
do
him
is
in
put some
the face.
green makeup on him with some
right.
ears, put the ears
He
on
looked
him,
like a.
and give him that hat.
Is there any particular villain that you would love to see Wonder Woman go against in the DC universe?
This is going to sound crazy. I would like to see her go up against some of the other DC characters.
Wow.
Yeah.
Why not go up against Green Lantern or someone like that? Just
That
to
would be
get
interesting.
You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
that would be interesting.
Because with his imagination,
That would be
he
a
pretty much has the power
Right.
of a god in his ring.
Right.
yeah.
Yeah, and not necessarily villain, but I really hope that they play on her encounter with Nubia, because they fight,
Yeah.
and Nubia is supposedly the only one who can like actually beat her, or can at least go toe to
Match
toe
her.
with her.
Yeah.
That would be dope.
Well, if you paid attention to the very beginning of the film, they showed Batman, Superman, Flash, Cyborg.
Yeah.
They
And like the
saw
intro. Yeah.
Green Lantern.
Right.
And did they show Hawk? No.
Flash.
No.
Hawkman.
Flash was in it.
Hawkman.
Hawkman and
And they
Hawkman.
showed Aquaman. They did shoot two other characters.
I
That's
do
pushing.
remember Green Lantern though. That was.
So, and there are rumors that they're going to do another Green Lantern because they
need
just
to.
really.
Plus Ryan Reynolds is like he's Deadpool.
Yeah.
He's been clean.
That was his dream. That was his I mean,
That was
he
the
was
role he was
destined.
born
That's the
to
role
play.
he should have had.
Yeah.
That's the
Born to play
role.
that role.
That yeah.
For real.
And he shouldn't do any other. I mean, I hate to limit people, but he
Nah,
does
you
that
gotta
so
be
well.
Deadpool forever.
That fits. It
like-
fits
it's
him
like-
perfect. It does.
It's like Christopher Reeve, God rest his soul, plays Batman. Like, no, you're Superman. You know, and
Yeah, or Linda Carter playing Catwoman.
Harley Quinn.
Yeah, Harley Quinn. Like Eartha Kitt playing Wonder Woman.
yeah, it's
No,
like
it's
no.
not perfect.
That was all right.
She was born to play that role.
Yeah, she was.
She was.
Yeah,
Wow.
I like what they did with the. I just they toned it down enough. They made it kind of Greco-Roman enough, you know, to fit. So
They didn't overstretch, which was
Right.
good. It wasn't like you get these producers and directors, hey, let's take this character and make it into something that we think it should be. They
Right.
didn't. They stuck pretty
Yeah,
much to
because
the
they could have
script.
easily like made it a female
Now-
300.
Yeah.
but now we have to pay attention and watch Batman versus Superman and see, did she have the same sword?
I was thinking about that. I was thinking, yeah,
He destroyed
he
the
destroyed the
sword.
darn
So
sword.
where did she get the new one?
But didn't they
But
find
isn't that-
another one in the movie? They went to the museum. They said there's one in the museum. They went to the museum or something
And
like
I
that.
thought that the
Yeah, I
movie-
thought so.
When Bruce Wayne and Diana are in that gala
Yeah.
museum, and she said that the real one is hidden somewhere, and that's a basement.
Because wasn't it in a display?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So do you think she has the real one? Is that what you're?
I don't.
That
That's what I'm
and wasn't that after?
That was-
Superman was after the Wonder Woman.
That's
Yeah.
totally
So
after that.
Yeah.
yeah, in theory, so it could have happened afterwards. But yeah.
So she would have to find another. So no other sword could be
She
that
didn't
sword.
go
Yeah.
back to the
Even
series.
though
Oh yeah.
technically, again, spoiler alert, she is the weapon.
Yeah.
So it
Right.
shouldn't really matter.
It shouldn't even matter.
what she
But
But
ever
she needs
used.
to fight with something. I mean, it looks cool.
She was whooping out with that thing, man.
Yeah. With a shield and a sword, just completes her whole outfit. Cute.
Yeah, that was. Yes, they did the work on that thing.
Now,
Yeah.
I know what Drew would say. Hopefully, I get this right. What Drew was. We do have to go in a minute. It's interesting that all the Amazons look like a bunch of models. It was like a
Well,
island of models.
I would love to hear what Drew has to say.
Well, they have to have, like-
And we can have a part two if you want to, but we do have to go because our time is up. But we'll see. Maybe we'll have a part two. We'll see. Just Google check. Thank you,
Check.
Rangers. Sensei Vegan, CC the Greek Geek. I am Michael Seven Michael, and you're watching Eclectica. And yeah, so watch Wonder Woman. Basically,
Go see it.
we co-sign on it.
One of the best. I told people.
Yeah.
People didn't listen. It's gonna be one of the best movies of the summer. Told
Right.
you.